Hi, this is Dr. Mark Sehl from the YouTube channel Therapy for the Heart. It's nice to be here today. Um, I wanted to talk about apologies and are they effective or not. If you hurt somebody's feelings, you say, I'm sorry. And I wanted to talk about Cecil and his mother. I think I talked about them here but I wanted to review that again because I was thinking a lot about if Cecil didn't and his mother didn't go into for treatment, the impact on both of them, but particularly him, because what happened in Cecil's case and his mother's case was that she couldn't connect with him. We talked about insecure and secure attachments in a lot of the videos and also in the recent podcasts. So she wasn't able to play with him. He would get frustrated. He would throw toys down, and she just couldn't connect with him, and he could not connect with her. So after some videos taken by Dr. Beatrice Beebe of both of them together, they found out that the problem was in the mother's perception of her son. It was really interesting because she was taking his aversion gaze, looking away from her as a rejection of her. She didn't understand that infants that age needed a time to cool down after being stimulated, and she was very overstimulating with him. And the reason why she was overstimulating was that she perceived him rejecting her attempts at connecting with him. So they worked together, took a lot of videos, watched the interaction, and they discovered that she was perceiving in her son's face the impassive look of her mother. And she tried to pursue her mother, and she always would see this feeling of rejection. And also the mother she wasn't particularly directly rejecting, but she was out of tune with her daughter. Beatrice took these videos and found that out. So Cecil's mom, they discovered when Dr. Beebe imitated his face that she was seeing the face of her impassive and what she experienced as rejection by the mother. And indeed, the mother was out of tune. She just wasn't in step with her daughter. So the more she wasn't in step, then the more Cecil's mother tried as a young girl to get her attention. And it just didn't work. Just didn't work out that way. And with Cecil, she didn't understand that he needed some time to cool down after being stimulated. Being stimulated can be, being played with too assertively or too much. And so children need to, their heartbeat goes up very fast if they're too stimulated. So he turned away from her to avoid the stimulation and calm down. She saw that as a rejection. So that was a wonderful indication of transference. We talked about transference. She was not seeing Cecil, she saw her mother's face. And after they figured that out, then she said, I fell in love with Cecil. She learned to play with him. She could play with toys with him, and he didn't get excited because she took her time. And if he needed to back away, she would respect that. So, and what about apologies that made me think of this case is because I think if Cecil never was taken into therapy and the therapy never happened, he could very well have gone to blame himself for the experience of not being connected to his own mother. And so I was thinking about apologies and apologies for actually when children's feelings are hurt by their parents, how important it is to apologize, because what that does is that puts the responsibility on the parent and not the child. Otherwise, the child becomes gets this idea that there's something wrong with them because of the fights or the arguments or whatever that persist in the family, or in the mother or the father. So Cecil would not have that onus on him because they rectified it right when he was 9 months old. But if life continued, he most likely, it's a good chance he would feel, oh, something's wrong with me. All the children blame themselves, and not the fact that my mother is not connecting with me and seeing me for who I am. So and I was thinking about a lot of apologies, how important it is for parents and for friends just to say, turn around when they know they've done something hurtful, is to say, I'm sorry. What a breath of fresh air that is for a child when there's constant um, tension, fights, hurt feelings. The parent to turn around and say, I'm sorry I hurt your feelings. I want to be a better partner, and I want a better, or a parent, a better partner, a better parent, you know. So, and that soothes the soul. An apology can soothe the soul. When don't apologies work? Apologies don't work when they're empty promises, they're empty words. If somebody keeps saying, I'm hurting, and they say, I'm sorry, and they keep doing it over and over again, well, get some help, get into therapy, or stop the behavior. But if the behavior doesn't stop and the hurts continue, they're empty words, I'm sorry. They have no meaning. So those are the two things that I was thinking about, apologies. And also, why people don't want to say I'm sorry. And one of the things that I thought about was because of the tremendous guilt that we carry around in us, because of feeling bad about ourselves, the self-esteem and judging ourselves and things like that. So if you apologize to somebody, you have like a lot of bad feelings that you're bad to begin with. It's like somebody took a paintbrush, and pointed it across your whole character. And it's not just, well, I made this little mistake and, I don't want to do that. It's like, I am totally bad. So if I admit that I made a mistake, that brush goes right across the whole character and the whole personality. So it's like I'm all bad. It's extremes, and people live in extremes often. We've talked about that. They live in extremes. Either I'm all good or I'm all bad, and there's no middle ground. So I had some thoughts on that, and I wanted to share them with you for this day of Tuesday, because this is Tuesdays with Mark and on YouTube. So I want to encourage you to, if you could, we have two things now with Therapy for the Heart. We have YouTube and we have podcast. And both are very important, and they work in conjunctions with each other. Some people, they can't watch a video. You must watch videos and you like them, but they can't. They might not have a PC, afford a PC, they don't have the time. They might like to drive in their car or walk around and with earphones and listen to the talks that I give. So we have both. Therapy for the Heart for YouTube and Therapy for the Heart podcast. So if you could join me in, I'm going to give a notice of when the podcasts are on iTunes. We're trying to push that very hard. I'm trying to, because it's an easy way of people accessing things, because people like iTunes, some people, and so it's going to be up there. And I would like your help to see if you can, when they come out, we'd like them to be on new and noteworthy, and that could help me a lot get to people. There's a lot of people that I help that they're not even in this country. One person came to me and said, when I interviewed her over the phone, she said, I can't go to therapy in my own country because I was sexually abused, and I'm so ashamed. I just will not walk into the office in any area, local area here. So without being able to see me through the videos and contact me, she would never got. It would have been hard to find. I couldn't say never, but she would have been hard to find a person who is competent like me. I'll give myself a pat on the back. I mean, I do feel very competent. So some people are and some people aren't. But she found me, and a lot of people are around and they don't really know how to access. I try to make psychotherapy understandable and human, and the videos have been characterized by down to earth and genuine. So I like that. So the podcast will be the same thing. There is one podcast coming up about Sehl. It's a little bit longer story, because a lot of things you really can't put too long a video on. Sometimes I could. Maybe I'll also put a similar thing on there. But I think I've talked to him about Sehl. But anyway, the podcasts are coming out. So if you could send me a Gmail. Email at marksehl@gmail.com. I will inform you about when they're coming out. So then, if you could download a few episodes. that would be great, and that would help us get up there on new and noteworthy, and that I would feel very good about that. Because I like getting around to people and helping them find me, and I'm helped too, by doing this. So, okay, so send me an email, marksehl@gmail.com, and I will give you information about when the podcasts are coming out, hopefully on iTunes. It takes a lot of work to get them up there, so we know we might not get there. So, but right now they're on SoundCloud.com/therapy for the heart, no spaces. That's where they are right now. So you could listen to the one about Cecil too. So that's SoundCloud.com/therapy for the heart. All right, so I'm going to say goodbye. Thanks for listening. Tuesday with Mark. See you next week. Bye-bye.